With us today at the Mizell Senior Center in Palm Springs is a man we've been trying to get a hold of forever, David Roth, who's running against Mary Bono.
Yes.
And welcome on our show.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good to be here.
What brings you to the Mizell Senior Center?
I'm here to lend my voice and my support to the cause of peace and the cause of justice. There are too many of the people here often do not have their voices heard. I need to make sure that not only are their voices heard, but that the work that they are doing is recognized all over this country and all over this world as being so important. These are groups of people that I've supported for most of my professional life and intend to continue to support.
Very good. One of the things that we're all concerned about, of course, is the war and what's been going on with the war. Tell us a little bit about your feelings on that. Of course, being here, we kind of assume that you're not for the war, but kind of give us a little more sense of your overall feelings for it.
Absolutely. This administration, my opponent, this Congress, have taken so much of our national treasure, so many lives, and have put them not only at risk, but have put them in jeopardy for the benefit of so few. We have spent over $300 billion, and in the process have not only lost so many lives and lost so much of our national resources, but we have taken our eye off of the ball as it relates to the war on terror. If we were really going to be focusing on the war on terror, we would not have spent all of this money in Iraq. We would have spent it to make sure that our nation is secure and that we were really focusing around the world and at home on the roots of terrorism, not just simply spending all of this money and wasting all of this time and spending so many precious lives in a war that was created for the benefit of so few.
So how do you, what do you see as the roots of terror then? If it's not Iran, Iraq, and all those things, what do you see it as?
In many ways, and General Wesley Clark said this quite eloquently a little while ago, in order to be safe, you have to have more friends than you have enemies. We do not have that now. This administration, my opponent, this Congress, have squandered the goodwill of an entire world, and in the process have made us much less safe. Our work must be, as again General Clark would agree to, make sure that we have more friends around the world than we do enemies. We can do that, but only if our priorities are substantially different.
Very good. And one other question that I have for you, which is weighing on the minds of everyone in the community right now, and that concerns medical marijuana. And this has been an issue that, quite frankly, everybody's been ducking in the traditional Democrat, Republican parties. Mary Bono has told us that medical marijuana is something that she won't support. And how do you feel about it?
And I've actually met with, that while my opponent would not meet with your organization, I did, and was happy to have that conversation. My goal has always been to make sure that we have national health care, that we have a national health care policy that is able to cover everyone, receive the health care they need at a cost they can afford, specifically as it relates to medical marijuana. I've been very clear about this. It is clear to me and to many others through science that the use of medical marijuana provides great relief and great benefit to many individuals in our society. It should be something that we do not keep them from using.
Do you believe that we should reschedule marijuana from Schedule 1?
I think that as the federal government looks at what it is that we need to do to make marijuana, there are many different possibilities to make it available to those who will need it. As I said when we had the conversation with Lanny.
Right, Lanny.
My goal is to make sure that we always are looking at the roots of what causes the problems that affect and afflict our society. Whether it's a reschedule, whether it's a reclassification, what I'm most concerned with is that we are reducing our society's desire for dependence upon substances that are considered not only toxic to society but toxic to the human body, which means that we need to be focusing on those that are selling dangerous and illicit drugs to our children. We need to focus on those that are transporting them across our borders and are making millions of dollars in the process. Medical marijuana and the use of medical marijuana by those, again, for whom it really provides great relief is an issue that is in many ways very cut and dry. It provides relief to people. We should be making it available and easy for them to be able to get it, but in the process, not in any way moving away from our battle against drug addiction and our battle against those drugs that are causing such problems in our society, we need to get to the root causes. And by getting to the root causes, we solve multiple problems.
In other words, it's a medical problem and should not be a criminal problem. Is that kind of the sense I'm getting from you there?
Yes. I mean, certainly those individuals who are responsible for peddling the illicit drugs, which are a scourge of so many of our streets, that is an education problem, a criminal problem, a law enforcement problem. But I tend to, throughout this campaign, I want us to focus on what really matters.
Well, what really matters is last year's statistics showed that over 765,000 people were put in prison in this country for marijuana use.
That's correct.
And I would personally consider that a political crime and not a crime like someone who's a child molester or a murderer or a rapist or something of that nature. It's a crime that has no victim. And as far as I can say, if there's no victim, there shouldn't be a crime. How do you feel about that?
You know, it's interesting. When I look at our criminal justice system, in many ways we have filled our prisons with those whose society has failed. I have a bumper sticker on my computer that says, you educate the child or you incarcerate the man. And so much of, again, what I have talked about via education, real work toward ensuring that we are creating a society and educating our children in a way where these are different conversations that we are having. The question of medical marijuana is one thing, but the question of illegal drug use by our children, our society, is entirely different. One last example. There was a forum in Cathedral City on methamphetamine not too long ago, and I was very pleased that it happened, and to the benefit and to the credit of people for putting it together. But the majority of people up on that stage were from law enforcement.
Right.
Only one individual was speaking about treatment. I got up and I said, you know, the real question here and my real goal as a member of Congress, as a member of the body that is creating the laws for our people, we need to be making sure that the child does not grow up into the methamphetamine user.
Right.
We break that cycle at its very base, and by doing so, assure that it does not become a criminal problem, assure that it does not become a societal problem, but that we are dealing with it in a way that decreases the demand at the very outset. That's the only way we deal with these issues, and by doing so, make this conversation much different.
It would, and it would be much more sensible, and this country would probably spend a lot less money on prohibitionist-type laws that, quite frankly, I don't believe the people of this country want.
The bottom line, and I've said this over and over again, our laws and our government should be about making sure the resources of our nation are available to all of us. We need to be focusing on the root causes of those problems that have affected society for decades, that never go away,
Right.
that only become the subject of political conversation. I want to make sure that they actually get solved. That's the commitment I've had as a candidate, and the commitment I'll have as a member of the U.S. Congress.
Dave, thank you very much for finally coming on our show.
Absolutely.
Good luck in November,